This is Sunday Morning Together across Australia on Vision Christian Radio, and it's a real pleasure to be coming to you from Hobart this morning. And my guest is Will Graham, the grandson of Billy Graham, who is in Australia at the moment for a series of events. Last night here in Hobart, next weekend in Launceston, and we'll tell a few stories around that as the morning progresses. But something we're going to do very soon is to take communion together this morning. And I understand, Will, communion is actually a real feature in your Christian testimony.
It really is. It's I tell people communion didn't save me, but it's what brought me to Christ. And this was back in 1981, January 1981. I would, at the end of the month, I would be turning 6 years old. And because it's the beginning of the new year, there in January, I was kicked out of children's church. I was now officially too old to be in children's church.
What did you do?
No, just got older. That's all I did. I was going to turn 6 and they were going to kick me out. So begin the new year, Will couldn't stay in children's church anymore. And I like children's church. You know, you had what we call flannel graphs.
Yeah.
But we also got snacks. We had little things of juice, apple juice or grape juice. And then we always had, and in America we call them vanilla wafers. They're like a little small biscuit type, cookie type thing. And each kid got one, and that was a little snack time. I enjoyed that. And so now I had to go to grown-up church. I was like, kind of dreading it, because I knew I wasn't going to get any snacks. And so when I went in there to church that day, sitting in there listening to the sermon, I looked up there, and they got a whole bunch of grape juice, and they got big loaves of bread. And I was like, man, they got snacks all the time up here, man. This is great. I couldn't wait. And I noticed as the grape juice and the bread was going around, that I noticed these small little cups that was coming in. And I was like, man, I wish it was a bigger cup, but we got to spread it to everywhere, spread it around, so maybe there's not that much. But I was like, they got some big loaves, but I noticed everyone's taking a little pinch. I was going to say, when that loaf comes to me, I'm breaking off a chunk. I'm going to eat this thing. And so as it came by, I reached out to grab it, and my dad, he slapped my hand. And it wasn't in a mean way or bad way, but just enough, son, you can't have any. And I didn't know why. I thought, in my mind, he was afraid I was going to drop the grape juice on the carpet of the church and ruin the carpet. So he didn't want me to spill it, which he had a good reason why to be scared of that.
Yeah, kids are kids.
That's exactly right. And I was, not even 6 yet, just about to turn 6. And so I didn't think anything of it. We went out to eat, took lunch, and then went home. And after lunch, Dad took me up to the room and explained to me, to my bedroom, explained to me why I couldn't have communion, because I didn't have Jesus living in my heart. Now, I grew up very religious. I grew up in a Christian home, mom and dad that loved the Lord. I went to church every Sunday, so I knew everything about God, but I didn't know God personally. I knew all the facts about God. I knew the Bible, not in depth at 5 years old, but I knew the scriptures, I knew the stories, I memorized scripture at that time, but I didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. I was religious, but I did not have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. So that's when my dad led me to Christ. And so I always think about when I see communion, when I partake in communion, it reminds me of when I came to Christ. So the elements didn't save me, communion didn't save me, but it was all pointing me to Jesus Christ. And so it would be the thing that would help lead me to Christ. And so communion is very, very special for me.
And I guess it would be easy for people to think, if there's one family in the world, it would be the Graham family, where surely you're just born a Christian.
Yeah, trust me, if you knew me growing up there, that was the last thought on your mind. I'll tell you that.
But clearly you had to get to that point yourself.
I did.
You had to make your own decision based on the understanding, the revelation of your need for God, your need to have a relationship with Him. And that's really what all of us need to do.
Well, and it is, because even as a kid, I was 5 years old, almost 6, but I knew I was a sinner. I knew I was a thief. I stole candy from the local grocery store. I stole a friend's pocket knife. I knew I wasn't a good kid. And it wasn't just like normal disobedience, goofing off and misbehaving. It was I was intentional. Yeah. I made decisions that I knew was wrong and did them. And so I knew I was a sinner. So it didn't take much for my dad to convince me that I was a sinner. But I believed in God and I knew all the things, but I had never invited Him. So I had to make a conscious decision to invite Jesus into my heart to forgive me of my sin and to make me a new person. And that's what he did on January 11th, 1981. That's when I gave my life to Jesus Christ by my dad. He helped point me to Christ, and so I'm very, very grateful for that day.
Yeah, special. You just revealed your age too, by the way, if anybody can add up.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, that's it. This is Sunday morning together on Vision Christian Radio, and very soon we are going to take communion together. And my guest and co-host this morning, Will Graham, is going to lead us in that. So now's the time, if you can, prepare some elements, do so. If you can't, maybe you're driving or something, that's okay. Just prepare your heart, and we can all do this together and remember the Lord and proclaim his death. That's what Scripture commands us to do. So prepare for that, and we'll be back real soon and do communion together on Vision.